a treat today. And not only that, but you're in for inspiration and I think maybe even revelation. So this is going to be awesome. You definitely want to stick around for this. I have a wonderful guest, Gaby Jordan. But before I introduce her, some of you might not know who I am. So just a couple words about me. I am a public speaking coach, founder of Speakers on Fire Academy. And my mission is to get you fired up about what you do, because wow, that's so joyful, and to get your audience fired up so they're excited to work with you. And it's very different coaching. I don't focus on your speech and all of that first. We focus on that, but we focus first on you, on really changing your energy so that you wow the room every time you speak, whether you're speaking to one person or a big stage with a big group, either way. So happy to be here. And Gaby, thanks for coming. It's so great to have you here. Gaby's bio is so enormous because she has accomplished so much in her life. So I'm going to try to do the most abbreviated version I can, but I want you to know about Gaby because she really is doing amazing things in this world. And that's why I think you're going to be inspired today. So Gaby is the CEO of Source Elements Group and president and founder of Human Better EDU. Come on, we all want a human better, right? This is amazing. Love that name. She is thrilled to empower executives and their teams to align cultures and build successful businesses which produce exponential results. And I want to hear all about cultures because this is something I'm really interested in, changing the culture, whether it's a small group, you're an entrepreneur, or whether you have a big company. Simultaneously, she has a passion for empowering parents, students, and administrators and faculty. And she put these together. Her dedication to the education cause and the understanding of the value of education started at a young age. And I'm sure she has some stories about that. Gaby was raised by a single mother who worked tirelessly to provide an education for her. And then Gaby was the first in her family to not only go to college, but complete law school. And after practicing law for 15 years as a commercial civil litigator, she turned her attention to the business world and then executive coaching and education. As an executive life coach, Gaby has trained individuals and teams for over 25 years, while running the education division and ultimately founding her nonprofit, Human Better EDU, which we're going to hear about, to carry on the vision of work in education, so important to our society. For the past 18 years, she has led programming in over 75 universities, domestically and internationally. There's such a long list. I couldn't include them today. I'm like, oh my God, where you have helped is just amazing. And personally, Gaby is the mother of 2 grown daughters and lives in New York with her husband, Robert, where they are singers. I won't make her sing today unless she wants to, but I'm dying to. I'm telling you, I'm dying to hear it. And they love to make music together. So Gaby, welcome, welcome. Tell us about Human EDU and about Human Better EDU and about yourself.
Sure, will do. I mean, first of all, I just want to say I really fully appreciate being here with you. And I really appreciate your mission because, as I was sharing on Instagram the other day, I woke up at earlier in the year and I said, this is the year of your voice. And that's not just my voice, but your voice, you, the collective you, each of the individuals who are out there. It's the year of you getting your voice out there, you speaking up, you being who you are designed to be. And that's why I really fully appreciate being with you, because you're committed for people to get their message out. And that's why it's an honor to play with you, work with you, interview you, connect with you and collaborate. So that's, I do want to underscore that. Okay.
Thanks so much for saying that. Yes, I'm all about not only helping people to speak up more, but to be heard.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Beautiful. So, and so we're very connected in that way, right? Because one of the things, so in the world of the corporate world that I do, so as you said, I coach and train in corporate world, in the nonprofit world, for the U.S. government, in education. So, and what's the commonality? Human beings, right? So my mission is really to have people be able to be their true self, which means also have their true voice, right?
Yes.
And the work that we do in the arena, so at Source Elements Group, the work that we do in the arena of cultural transformation is really about aligning cultures, right? So sometimes people call us when they are going to the next level, when they've reached a certain plateau and then want to take it higher, or when they have merged with another company and things aren't
Mm,
good,
yeah.
right? There's a lot of us and them in the way that it works. And so we get brought in to coach individuals and to coach teams, but it's all about having the culture be one that really has results soar, right? Resolving conflicts, allowing, breaking down silos, getting companies and individuals the results they want. So
Yes.
that's the short version.
Yeah, yes. I know there's so much to this, right?
Yes,
And it's
yes,
interesting because businesses didn't used to care about that, but
that's right.
now the only way to thrive is if you not only care about it, but you understand it and you work for it because
Right.
it is critical whether you're, again, a small company or a large one. That culture, what you bring people, it's all a microcosm. It could be
Mhm.
two people and you have the same dynamic, right? And then you have all
Absolutely.
these hundreds of people and you have that same human dynamic.
That's right. And, as you say, small and large. So I've coached anything from a three-person founder
Mm,
restaurant in Brooklyn to Microsoft to Warner Records to a manufacturing plant in Wisconsin. All humans, right? And so
right.
it really is anytime you get that dynamic together. The other thing that you said is people need to care about it. They need to care about it and take action and not just be checking the box,
Yes.
because there's a certain amount of self-reflection involved. But I'm going to say something. One of the things that is the challenging for companies is when they lose people. And you lose people when you don't really care, when their experience of being at work is drudgery. Gone are the days of, they're just going to go in, collect a paycheck, or that's not the humans you want. You want people who get fired up about what they do, care about it, and can work with each other. So one of the things that happens is you need to have people understand who they are, understand their colleagues, and then be able to work together for a common goal.
Yeah, it's so interesting. You said don't just check the box because for a while there, it was mandatory for companies to have this, right, diversity, equity, and inclusion trainings for their employees.
Mhm.
And so people would just go, okay, we'll do it, fine. We'll bring in a video. And that does nothing. You can't
That's
just
right.
check the box. You really have to understand it, be committed to it, understand the value of it,
Mhm.
and then really make it happen. And it's, we are diverse, whether it's, men versus women, or whether it's, minorities, whether it's, all different kinds of people from different cultures and religions. We really are a mixture of peoples. We all have the human qualities. We're all much more alike than we are different, but there are
That's right.
differences, and we need to embrace them and know how to work with them and know how to communicate with them. So I just love what you do. It's so important.
Thank you. I love it too. I mean, when we do, and so the little bit more, so there's the work that we do with teams, but there's work that we do with individuals, with executives, getting them to the next level. So when we work with an executive, we work on having them have their dreams, really, which, as adults, we've really lost the connection to our dreams,
Mm,
which then
yeah.
has us not be inspired, happy, proud, inspired, on fire. We've lost that. So we work with them getting their dreams. Then we also work on elevating their operating states. So your operating
Mm,
system produces a certain result. Nothing wrong with that, except if you want different results, you probably have to up-level your operating system. And so then that's the second area that we work on. And then we work on helping people get through their day-to-day fires, right? Because, you can't, you come in to work on your dream, except your house is on fire. We better deal with the house on fire, right? So the beauty of executive coaching is that it really takes care of the human in service of the dream, in service of the larger picture. And so with an individual, that's the kind of work we do. And then on a group level, everything we do with an individual, we also do in a group. So, and then what we do is we have people start to look at who they are, what works about them, what doesn't work about them. And frankly, the what doesn't work about them is what needs more work, because what works about them, they should keep doing. They should bring it on. They should carry on their legacy. Yes. But they want, often we don't see where we are blinded by things. And so, the job of our coaches is to really help people see where their blind spots are and help them actually say, okay, what do I do about that? Because again, it's not just awareness. That is the first step, but it's not just awareness. It's then having the tools to actually do something different, to evolve who they've been being, to be able to be successful, to take them to the next level, which is an example of up-leveling your operating system.
This is so true. And I love this because psychology, that's my background in psychology, comes into everything we do. And we all have blind spots. And that's why we all need coaches. I need a speaking coach and a business coach and, this coach and that coach, because we all have those blind spots. We all have patterns. That's how our minds operate for safety and security, and just to be able to function in the world. Is we have patterns, but then we need to know which patterns do we keep and which ones do we need to do a pattern interrupt and change, and then how do we change. So this is fantastic that you do that, because again, businesses are not going to thrive if they just look at the tasks they have to do. They have to look at the communication and the psychology of it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. And something you said about, so this is businesses. It's also, what we do the very same thing in education, right? Because, a university or a college, and, we've done everything with people, humans, from kindergarten to postdocs, to deans of universities, to provosts, to heads of schools, right? Why? Because it's all human being. Right. And so one of the things you mentioned about Human Better EDU, one of the things is we are committed to bringing the same kind of work that typically used to be found only in the business world to education, because you have those same ecosystems that sometimes don't work, which then disable people from being able to produce a result for students, which students, as far as I'm concerned, are the future of the world. Okay. The future of the world. We're relying on so we really are committed to support anyone that actually impacts students, so they can get freed up and really create, so that they can also be a model for students who are looking to really come bring the new world in.
Yeah, this is fascinating. And I know, because my kids both struggled going through school, and the education system isn't set up to help everybody. That's a little different. And my kids were a little different in different ways. And so I want to know a little bit more about how you help the education system, how you help, administrators, teachers. Do you work directly? Do you just, go in and talk to them? What do you do?
All of the above. So we both teach in classes. So as you said, we've been in over 75 different institutions of learning around the world. So we started at MIT in 2006, teaching a course which I then called Designing Your Life, now called Life Design at MIT. Then moved to NYU and created Empowering Women in Science, which quickly became women, men, undergrads, grads, postdocs, faculty, because it was clear they all needed it. When we went in and started working with the women, they said, the men needed too. We said, we know, we had to start somewhere. So that Stanford Business School, the course I taught out there was with my colleague, Jim Phils, who was a professor at Stanford in the business school, was called Leading Your Life. And in the med school, we started empowering emerging scientists. So in those contexts, we're teaching in classes, in classrooms, directly to students. And then likewise, London School of Economics and Nova University in Portugal, Vienna University, all that directly. And about 10 years ago, we started teaching to high schools in New York City. So we've been in a couple of different high schools in New York City since that time. And then we started also working with middle schoolers. And as I said, during the pandemic, we did a direct to consumer, if you will, direct to the students not through a particular school, but to students all over the country.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Because we realized, you know what, parents need after school programming for their kids. Why not a life design program? So that's what we did there. And so that was kindergarten through sixth graders for that program.
Yes.
So
I love that, because a lot of after school programs, it's art crafts and it's cooking and it's, things that are great too. You want to have fun and you want to learn some of those basic skills. But the life design, it's like life design and finances, and psychology are not taught
Yes.
enough in our schools, and kids need this so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then we also were committed to, okay, how do you also get teachers, one, taking care of themselves, but two, that taking care of themselves, that modeling of what it takes to actually take care of themselves, create their dreams, overcome obstacles, makes a huge difference in the way that they show up in the classroom. So also during the pandemic, we had actually done some of this work before, but during the pandemic, we wound up leading a class for teachers to be able to, a lot of them came in for self-care, right? Critically important. As far as I'm concerned, teachers were the frontline workers, right, during that period, because they still had to show up, right? So we started supporting teachers in that way, and then teaching teachers to teach our programs in schools. So that it wasn't reliant on having one of our coaches do it. So we have a real commitment to expanding what I call as my education angels, because they really are angels, to be able to bring this. And so the more empowered they are in their own lives, the more that they can have that happen for the students. So that's why we teach in all of those. And then likewise, the one-on-one coaching that we do with deans, chairs of departments, heads of schools, all designed for the same reasons that we'll do it with executives in companies, because it's about them being effective in their organization. So that's sort of the scope of that.
Yeah, the leaders need to really set the tone and set the stage for all this to happen. So it's really important to also address them. But I love your one-to-many model, because, you have such great value. And then to be able to impart that to even more people by teaching the teachers to teach is fabulous. That's a fabulous model. Love that. And you're so right. Teachers were, teachers and healthcare workers, my goodness, during the pandemic was so stressed out and doing so much great work and so selfless. It was amazing. Yes.
And we really have to get hip to the importance that teachers are, how important teachers are, because they are supporting our students in being effective, in being able to learn skills, to be contributors to society. And we do not, in my opinion, sufficiently revere what teachers bring and the stressors that they have and how they get put upon. And so I think one of the important things is giving teachers the tools. So one, acknowledging them for sure, but two, giving them tools to be able to self-regulate, because they also want to model that for the students, right? And so that they can actually deal and be sufficiently present to bring their best selves, right? So there's a lot of work in supporting educators that I think is an important thing that we do.
This is such important work, because kids' minds, and they say till about 26 your mind hasn't really formed. It's not 18 for sure. It's more like 26. Right. And for guys maybe even a little bit longer. But it's important that we realize how impressionable these kids are. They might act like they know everything and they don't want to hear from you, but they are paying attention big time. And they are sponges, absorbing it all, what they do with it, whatever. But they are that is the best time to change the world, is to change our youth. Yes,
I agree. I have on one of my CDs, I have the song "Children Will Listen," because it hits home. Careful the things you do, children will see. Like, it's all modeling. Right? It all makes a difference.
You want to hum a few bars? Let's just open it up right now.
That's for our next time.
Oh, come on. Just like 2 lines is all we need. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Now, do you play an instrument also?
No, I just sing.
Okay.
I sing. I took flute for years. And actually in college, I started taking the piano because I always wanted to have a piano. But when I was growing up, we didn't have the money to have a piano. And so I didn't. So in college, I actually started taking lessons. And so for 2 hours, I would be, da, 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 like in the student lounge, and then my boyfriend at the time, who was a fabulous piano teacher, pianist himself, but then he was teaching me, and he actually taught me to play popular songs so that I wouldn't let my piano playing slow down my singing, because he knew that. And that worked quite well. But I don't play anymore. But it's still, music is still a critically important part. I have a couple of CDs. I'm working on my third. And the fun fact about that is the person who's producing that CD is my ex-husband, who is not the father of my children. I am married to the father of my children. So this is an ex-husband from a long time ago. So he's doing the music for my CD, and I'm coaching him in his life, and it was his idea. So that's, fun fact I like to
love
tell
that.
about that.
Once we care about someone, we always care
That's
about
right.
someone.
That's right.
And, I'm all about that. But I bring this up, and I don't want to get on too much of a tangent, but to me, music is life-changing, and
Yes.
it's certainly state changing. Your state of mind will change like that. And I always use it in my teaching to start talking about bringing yourself here now. Losing my voice. And I think that, the voice affects us. I mean, more people should listen to music, because I'm so moved. I mean, I can cry almost every time I hear a really good voice. It's so moving. And, one of my favorite TV shows is The Voice. I don't watch hardly any TV, but I can't stop listening because it's so moving.
Yes,
And
I
you and I
couldn't
both
agree.
started musical theater, and
Right.
I just want to congratulate you, and I do want to hear you sing someday soon. But back to all the other incredible things that you do. Oh my goodness!
I couldn't agree with you more. I'm married to someone who was a jazz singer. He is a jazz singer, and he was on the road for many years, and Grammy nominee, la la la. But we met in a sight reading class, learning to sight read music. Neither of us knowing the other was a lawyer, because he's a lawyer too, right? And then I can't tell you the number of lawyers that when I was in law school, we did 4 shows, right? Typically you do 3, but there was a 4th one that we did. There was all original music written and performed by lawyers, which you then went into a studio to record, right? And the sound engineer heard that 11 lawyers were showing up. He's like, uh-oh. But it was awesome, right? And so that's actually, it's part of what we do. Because one of the things when we work with you, back to the coaching thing, when we work with you, we work on 12 areas. We have you look at 12 different areas of your life and identify what your vision is in each of those 12 areas. It's important for you to have what feeds your soul, like music, or if it's art for you, because for some people it's art, for some people it's nature, it's important for you to have that as a component of who you are. Because if you ignore those pieces of yourself, it's like diminishing your soul. So critically important to include all facets of your life and be able to make them work in a way that supports you in your evolution.
Yes, absolutely. It sounds like what you do is so comprehensive. I love that. So I imagine that you make huge, when you said exponentially change companies, I get it that you're doing that. Yes. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about today that we haven't touched on?
I know, my goodness, we could go on forever, I'm sure. Let's see. Well, I'll say 2 things. So one is, we have my value proposition. Executive teams crush results when the team dynamic moves from we to me. Why I say that is because what I want people to get is that individuals make a huge difference in any organization. And when you can start to see and own the difference you make, which by the way is back to the voice, the year of the voice, that is the beginning of your being able to shift a culture. And you don't have to do it on your own, but it's recognizing your own power, designership, architecting of that universe. So
Yeah.
that's what I would offer.
This is so true. I mean, people feel like they don't have a voice when they're in a larger group, and
Mhm.
then they don't have ownership, and so they shrink their energy and
Yes.
they don't, give all the gifts that they have. But
Yes.
when they feel that, you know what, I own this, I am part of this, I matter, then it makes all the difference. So
Huge.
you are so right
Huge.
about that. Oh my gosh.
Right.
So at the bottom of the screen, you see down there, there's one way to get in touch with Gaby. That's her best email. So
That's
she'd
right.
love to hear from you. If you're listening out there or even watching the replay, you can leave us a message in the chat, ask a question in the chat, let us know your feedback in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. And Gaby, how else can people get a hold of you, or what else would be a
There's
good way?
another thing. There's another thing which people who educators are invited to this. We actually started last night, a free coaching community and coaching call for educators. Again, why I say this is because we have, as I said before, we have this huge commitment to educators. So people are invited. It's Thursday PM from 6 PM to 7 PM Eastern. What is going across the screen is the link to be able to sign up for that. So if you post that in, if you click on that, you'll be able to get the Zoom information to be able to join our call. There for the next 4 weeks, they are every Thursday. For the next 4 weeks. And then we anticipate doing a longer version, but that's what we've just started. And why we started in January so quickly is to jumpstart your 2024. So 2 ways. If you happen to be interested in either thing, you can email me. But if you're an educator or you know an educator who you feel should be empowered, have them grab that link and come join us for our community call.
Oh my gosh, you have so much to offer. So, for those of you listening out there, if you're a student, if you're a teacher, if you're a parent, if you work for a company, if you own a company, if you're on a team, if you're a leader, what did I leave out? That just about covers everybody in every situation,
Right, right.
small group, large group, no matter who you are. Gaby has something to definitely benefit your life. And I'm so grateful that you're in my life, Gaby.
Thank you. And I feel the same way. Thank you so much. I really appreciate our friendship, our collaboration, and I look forward to many more.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. See you next time.
Bye.